So officially, good morning. Welcome to the Options Income Launchpad Sunday Market Insights. My name is Scott. I will be your host. It's an interesting day, I feel like, today, because quite honestly, I would take a peek at the market Thursday. I would pull my phone out and go to Yahoo Finance, but it was a blur. I just don't remember. I had a couple of positions that had some hard orders in place, and I just really didn't pay much attention over the last 3 days. And it's a funny thing because I tell people all the time, if I were stranded on a desert island for a year and came back, got rescued, took a shower, got a cheeseburger, hugged my family, what's the next thing I'm going to do? Market posture, right? That's how I'm going to orient myself. So even though it's only been a few days, I'm very much looking forward to this so that I can reorient myself to what's going on. And of course, we will be using our newly developed AI model. Let me get that ready here. As we do, let me remind you that what we do is for education, illustrative purposes only. Nothing we do or say should be considered or construed as a recommendation or should considered personalized advice. We're not brokers. We're not advisors. Any decisions made should be done at your own risk. Okay, I'm going to need this over here. But I am very excited to be back with you guys. This is the most alive I have felt. It's been a bit of a fog of painkillers and relaxants and whatever else. So, good. Let's get going. I'm a little worried that I'm going to be slow. So, what are we going to do today? Market posture. We're going to look at the economic calendar now that we have data flowing again. We'll see what data we expect. What sectors do we like or not like? We're doing watch list maintenance. I have been talking about posting the updated watch list, and I have not, and so I apologize. But I will definitely get that up and going. We'll continue doing some watch list maintenance. We will get our this week's opportunity list up and ready to go. I'm hopeful. If nothing else, I saw the market trying to hold some support at the 50. We'll see what happens there. And then we'll talk about this week's trading plan section of the week. We're on the back half of this week's loop. So we just finished with risk management. Now we're talking about routines. We've got 4 more sections to go. It's almost December. Good stuff. Thank you, Stephen D. I have no doubt Glenn did an excellent job. He's phenomenal. He is a great resource, great partner. Okay, let's do it. Let's get into it. Good morning, Ray. Good to see you, my friend. Now, first and foremost, 3-year weekly. I actually said I'm going to let it pull back and hit the red line. If it goes through the red line, I'll take away a point, but I'm going to let it hit the red line. And if it bounces off the red line to the upside, in order to keep the current score it has, which is a 1.5 for me, it has to get through the red line. So I'll be honest. I would say my market posture, my long-term score is a little bit on credit right now. So if yours is a 1.25 or a 1, I totally understand. And it's like this, almost like there's this like resounding hopefulness for the bullishness to stay intact. But it got up there. That's what it was required to get the number. Now, as long as it bounces from here and it can get a little bit above the red line, then it keeps its score. If it hits the red line, if it gets below the red line, then that's it. All bets are off. It loses some ground. But for me, I am going to keep my score the same. Let's get a quick ChatGPT score here. Oh, that is not at all what I wanted. Let me try that again. Okay. Just the trend, not even volume. Just the trend. Today is the 23rd of 25. Okay. I'm leaving mine at 1.5. Anybody there with me? Are most of you lower than me? I kind of expect that you would be. Tony Z says, still awaiting Santa. Right? Damn it, Santa, get here. Give us a good December. And also, good morning, Ray. Good to see you. Down to a 1.25. I get that. I get that. Sandy's a 1. I get that too. I think 1.5 is like barely able to make an argument. And I give you mine. But I get where I am with that. But I kind of set it up and I said, here's what I'm going to do and here's what I'm going to stick with. So I'm going to. Okay, let's see what ChatGPT says. Staying a 1, remains in a clear uptrend, but it's riding the upper half, holding above the 50, blah, blah, blah. The slope has not steepened, so a 1 continues to reflect a positive but moderated angle. Third straight week, bullish long-term structure persists while momentum consolidates near channel resistance. I can't argue with that. I cannot argue with that logic. I stayed at 1.5, maybe a little bit irrationally exuberant. ChatGPT is a 1. Okay, fair. That is very fair. Pretty good job scoring, I think, on that one. I feel like the model is really starting to find its consistency as we get through each week, which is very nice. Okay, the 6-month daily chart. This one's going to be a little more interesting, I think. What a day on Thursday. I was completely out of it. I'm like, what is going on? It gaps up, runs up a little bit, and then just takes an enormous dump all the way back down. So technically, again, we didn't hold the 50-day. We are below the 50-day. And in fact, you know what? When that happens, I do have a tendency to add a couple things. So I'm going to do that now. Let's get moving average exponential. I'm going to add 2 of these. I'm going to make one of them 100-day. And we'll turn this one a nice pinkish color, reddish color. And I'm going to make one of these a 200. I hope we don't need them. We'll make this a light blue. But I want you to notice that's where we got to. We got through the 50 and then what? Now we're sitting right at the 100. There's a lot of room. There's a lot of room before we drop down to the 200. So, okay. Fair enough. Last week, I dropped from a 1.25 to a 1. This week, what happened? Lower low. We had a lower high. Now we have a lower low. I'm dropping mine to now, if you're relatively new, you might be thinking, Scott, well, look at this. This thing looks more like minus something. We really don't like to go minus on the short-term trend unless it's really popped it down. We tend to move to regression points, right? Lower high, minus 0.25, lower low, minus 0.25. And the reason I do that is because it keeps the score more stable. Otherwise, you'll find yourself on the wrong side of a recovery where you would want it to get more bullish, but it doesn't. And so in this situation, I'm going to just take away a quarter of a point. We took away a quarter for that last time. Now we got down here and we're at a lower high. I'm going to take away a quarter point there. That's going to put me at a 0.75. So let's go ahead and move this down. 0.75. And let's take a picture, put it into the model, and we'll see what ChatGPT thinks. Okay, Stephen D is a 0.75. Stephen C is a 0.75. I'm a 0.75. Let's move this down. Let's change this to short term. This week's chart for analysis. 11/23/25. Paste. And ready, set, go. I'm going to go ahead and just start looking at volume since we know what our score is. Anybody else go lower? Anyone higher? Seems like everyone's kind of seeing that the same. It's really lost some luster, but I'll tell you what, it has not broken. This is a pretty solid level through here, and it has not broken that. I need to make that a different color today. Let's go blue. Yeah, that's better. That's better. Hello, Vladimir. Good to see you. I am feeling okay. Better than I was the last few days. This is the best day. It's painful, but it's like it's stretching. It's like working out the kinks. I'm hopeful. I'm a little worried that this is going to exhaust me and I'm going to go crash after this, but I feel good getting out of bed, sitting up, chatting with my best friends club. All right, let's go see what ChatGPT said. Ooh, now this is where ChatGPT is off on something here. Okay, so it's got the wrong reference. I pasted it into volume. You're right. Oh, how did I do that? This was the wrong analysis. Chart for analysis. Please disregard. Okay. Let's go to short-term trend. Thank you, Stephen D. Apparently, I'm feeling a bit loopy still. This week's chart, my bad, everyone, for analysis. 11, 23, 25. Okay. Right, Sandy? I definitely need it. I definitely need it right now. Okay. Appreciate that, Stephen. 0.5. The short-term trend is weakened further, slipping below the 50, testing the 100. Down from a 1, broke the 50, turned a little corrective. I'm not going to argue with that. I agree. That's a reasonable analysis. I'm going to put this as a 0.5. Okay. Moving along. Now volume. Let's go to the 1 month daily. And okay, real quick question. I'm going to do the math. What did everybody do with this day here? I don't feel like that's enough, but I'm going to do the math. I'll put this over here. The close was 660.08. The close here was 662.63, which is $2.50 divided back into 660.08. Yeah, that wasn't enough, right? That was above average volume, but I'm going to say that one is a tie. So last week we had 5 above average volume days. Does everybody agree with that? Steven says yes. And I have sell, tie, sell, and then this should be a buy. Let's get alignment here. Sell, tie, sell, buy. Agreed? Yes. Okay. I was a little nervous about me doing this one for sure. Okay, so that puts us at a 1, 2, 3, 4 sells. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ties, 1 buy. It's at least a negative a quarter. 4 to 1. That's right on the bubble for a minus 0.5. Where are you guys putting it? At least minus 0.25. Possibly getting to the minus 0.5. 4 to 1. If it was 2 to 1, it's a tie. I'm actually going to leave it at minus 0.25 as I think about it, right? Like if it was 2 to 1 for buyers or for sellers, that's going to be a 0. 3 to 1, 4 to 1 for sellers, minus 0.25, 5 or 6, minus a half. 6 or 7, minus 0.75. Anything more than that, I'm going to go minus 0.25. It was on the edge. It was like, I mean, Stephen D at minus 0.25 or minus 0.5. I'm not going to argue and be like, oh, I don't know if you should be that low. I'm like, yeah, I was thinking about it, right? I was thinking about it. Okay, let's see what the model thinks. It does have a slightly negative slope, that's for sure. Loving the snippet and paste so much. It's changed my life for the better. Okay. Okay, the question is, does it sound like I have like a crazy neck brace on, or do I sound all right? This is the most I've talked. Little raspy, yeah. That's probably because they shoved a tube down my throat, bastards. They ask, like, is anything tingly? You know, no fingertips, nothing like that. You guys want to know what tingled? The right side tip of my tongue went a little numb. It's barely coming back now. I asked ChatGPT. It said it's probably because of the tube they shoved down my throat. Okay. I'm a minus 0.25. Let's see what ChatGPT says. I could see it going minus 0.5. Well, that's interesting. That's interesting. A 0. It didn't find these to be that big of, I mean, you can see they weren't very big days. I actually don't mind that analysis, because what's interesting is it's like we scored this negative and then we scored this negative, and this actually was more than both of those combined. I don't mind that, actually. I'm not going to talk to it at all about that. I kind of like its perspective. We should probably make this a minus 0.25, and that'll make our score make a little bit more sense. So ChatGPT stays a 0. All right. Did any of you score a 0? Minus 0.25. Sandy's a 0. Okay. Sandy has like a connection with the AI. She and ChatGPT see it very similarly. Okay, next step. I can't rest or stop, or else I'll run out of time, I have no doubt. Let's get going. No matter how tired I am after this, it was worth it. It just feels great to feel normal. NASDAQ still leads. Russell and Dow are still kind of having a little fight for third. This is bullish, but the most bullish this could be is 0.5, but it would have to sustain that way. Let's get a little picture of this. And let's go. Make sure I go to the right place. This is going to be major market analysis. Chart 1. Okay, chart 2. 133. NASDAQ still in the lead. Small caps popping back. Look at that. Look at that reset. They were in a lead. They went tied with the S&P back into a slight lead. I would say this actually looks even slightly more bullish than the first perspective. This holding up. This makes it feel like it's a broad market, not necessarily a shifting market analysis. Okay, let's get this in place. Boom. We'll put you here. Let's go down to 66 days. And what do we see here? We see small caps shoot into a slightly leading position. Oh, well, this is very interesting. We had the NASDAQ in the lead, all three spots, and then we had small caps making a fight. I mean, this feels like it is okay. Let's grab this. And then pop you in there. What was I on this? 0.5. I think it's going to stay at least a 0.5. With the small caps popping, maybe even I'll raise it to a 0.75. Sandy's a 1. Steven said kept mine at 0.75. I don't argue. All of that looked pretty good. I am like leaning towards a 0.75. Would I say it's a tie? Maybe. Let's go to the 22. Ooh. If it was a tie, it's going to stay a 0.75 because the Russell, even though it got a nice recovery, on this chart, we still see the Dow slightly leading and we see the Russell kind of behind. I'm actually going to leave mine at a 0.5. I'm going to leave mine at a 0.5. I don't feel like there was enough small cap strength in this last image. I would have given it if there was like a greater show. I love the differing viewpoints that we have this week. I think it's actually strengthening our understanding of the market. This week's charts for analysis 11, 23, 25. Ready, go. I'm going to leave mine at a 0.5. Stephen C is a 0.5. Stephen D is a 0.75. Sandy's a 1. How's everybody feeling about that one? I feel like it's, all things considered, we could still have Santa Claus come. Come on, Santa, you can do it. 0.5. NASDAQ remains the leader, 66, 133. The Russell has fallen, blah, blah, blah. Down from 0.75 to 0.5. So it went down a little bit. I was already down a little bit. Okay. That's reasonable. 0.5 there. So I'm sitting at a 3. And it's sitting at a 2.25. So that's a little worse off than I am. Let's do sector rotation. Sector rotation. Let's get you where you need to be. Okay, sector rotation. And let's go here. No, thank you. I don't use this enough to pay for it, that's for sure. Okay. What have we got? Technology is definitely fallen. It's long, but it's still in. It was so far ahead, it had a little room to fall. Utilities, kind of in a funny place there. Industrials and comm services not too far behind. It's kind of a mixed bag overall. It's hard to get much of a read on this, which is why my score has been a 0. Let's. This is where I'm actually quite excited to get ChatGPT's analysis, because it's like, yeah, this is a tough one. We'll start here. Okay. Drop it down to 133. And you can see NASDAQ, it bounced, it held the first position. Oh, no, it didn't. That was actually healthcare. Popping in front of it a little bit. Man, that's not great. Still feels like a 0. 1 growth, 1 defensive. Utilities just a little behind. Same with comm services. Then you've got energy and discretionary. Discretionary got beat up. Yeah, it's looking very neutral. Very mixed. Wait, did I already get this picture? I don't remember. I did not. Okay. Let's drop it down to 66. What do we have here? Still technology, trying to hold on a little bit. And we've got healthcare trying to push a little bit. Energy's in the mix. Utilities in the mix. Yeah, it doesn't feel defensive to me, but it also doesn't feel growth. I'm probably going to keep mine a 0. Based on what we're at 66. I'm going to keep mine at a 0. I don't feel like it's close enough to moving defensive. Did anyone go negative yet? Okay. Stephen D went negative and Stephen C went negative. Okay, that's fair. I again, I could see it. I could see why you're doing it. Especially when you come to this 22 and you see healthcare and energy and nobody else. But I'm going to let it stay at 0 for me. I'm curious where ChatGPT is going to end up. Okay, this week's charts for analysis. 11, 20, 23, 25. Ready, go. All right. Okay. ChatGPT was a 0.25 last time, which was higher than me. I kind of have a feeling it's going to drop. Sandy's a 0 like I am. Okay. A 0 makes sense. There was definitely a decisive deterioration in growth leadership. Oh, it says it's so fancy and nice. So fancy and nice. So dropping to a 0. Wow, it's dropped a lot. I think the biggest thing was this 0.5 point. I've dropped a 0.5 point. It's dropped a full point. ChatGPT is a little bit more bearish. Not bearish, less bullish. I would say that it's moving closer to neutral. Closer to neutral, where we're still hanging on to slightly bullish. Let's go finish with the VIX. Okay. Let's get the VIX analysis. This week's chart analysis. 11, 23, 25. I agree, Sandy. It's moving closer. And I don't feel like it's because I'm teaching it to. I feel like it's dialing itself in very much the way All of us have to dial ourselves into this analysis. Let's go 6 months. Let's go VIX. Whew, definitely not good. I mean, it spiked, right? It was definitely, last week we got a higher low. This week a higher high. I'm dropping mine down to a 0.25. A 0.25. Actually, I might even go full. I might even go to 0. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We were here at 20. We were here at 20 and we got a big spike up. I'm going to put this at neutral. I'm going to go 0. Yeah, I'm going to do a full half a point drop on this one. Stephen D says he dropped his VIX from 0.25 to a 0. Okay. Final score was a 2, down 1.25. Stephen D and ChatGPT are very much dialed in. I'm going to end up at a 0.2 or 2.5. So just ever so slightly hanging on to some bullishness, right? Just right at that neutral to slightly bullish transition. It doesn't look bearish or defensive yet. It just looks like it's really getting strained. Stephen C is at 0.25. So is Sandy. Makes sense. Makes sense. Okay. Minus 0.25. So it dropped it. It dropped it. I was wondering if it would. ChatGPT is the most bearish, I believe, on the VIX. And there it is. We actually we came together here. I was a 4.75. It was a 3. I dropped a 3.5. It was still a 3. I dropped a half. It dropped 3/4. But yeah, we're not far. I'm a 2.5. It's a 1.75. Stephen D's a 2. Where's everybody else? I kind of feel like we're all going to be somewhere between 1.75 and 2.5. 2.5 for Steve C. That makes sense. This all makes sense to me. It feels right based on what the market's doing. What does it mean? To me, it means this. If you started to see some things where you're like, this looks and feels a little bearish, I might take a downside trade. I feel like that door is opening. I'm going to be thinking about some butterfly spreads, some neutral trades. Volatility is high. Market is sideways. I have a feeling there's some butterflies coming our way. Butterflies, broken wing butterflies. It's a very different type of trade, but it's a good trade. Okay. 3 for Sandy. Okay, Sandy's still feeling it a little bit. Let's stop here for 1 second. Let's take a look at this week's calendar. I feel like I'm actually better for time when I'm not yapping so much. Nothing tomorrow. Tuesday, we're getting a delayed report, meaning we're getting September sales numbers. We're going to get September PPI, which is projected to be ticking up. We don't have projections for the year over years. Those should be interesting to see what they come back as. We're getting September. We're getting November consumer confidence, and that looks like it's supposed to drop another point. We really, I mean, that should, in a good market, that's at 102, 103. So we're quite a ways off from where that would look a little better. Wednesday, we'll get November jobless claims, and that looks fine if we get them there. Thursday, nothing. Friday, nothing. Next week, what do we get? Next week, we'll get November ADP report. We're not getting any jobs reports, though. Right? We're not getting any jobs reports, it seems. With the Fed riding the roller coaster, seasonal chart showing looking to trade bullish with shorter expirations. Yeah, I agree with that. I'm going to take profit sooner and take more of it when I do. Take half after 3-4 days if I have it. I'm going to be much more responsive to trades. I agree with that. Let's reload this. Well, we were at 50-50 for a minute there, and then it shot back up to like, oh, now the Fed is going to cut again. I still consider myself 50-50. I'll be honest. I'm not seeing it here. But maybe they think the market needs it. I don't know. What do you guys think? Cut or no? Cut or no cut? John says no. I'm leaning to no. Steve C says no. That'll be disappointing for the market. Cut, please. Yeah, okay. All right, let's get to the watch list. Glenn says, Glenn, I didn't see you here. Everyone was talking about how they were all like, we were hoping it was going to be Glenn today. No, they didn't say that, but they said what an amazing job you did holding down the fort. Everybody appreciates you. And it's good to see you, my friend. All right, let's go look at these things. I mean, Apple never broke support. Interestingly enough, there may be another thing popping out there. I'm going to keep Apple on my list. AMKR, it's kind of holding the 50, right? I'm gonna keep, if it holds the 50, I'm gonna keep an eye on it here. Amazon, no, a little bit too much. APH looks fantastic. I think this definitely looks, you pop out of that hammer and it turns into a trade. I say yes. I say there's something there for us. ASX, I'm going to say maybe it's holding the 50. It's kind of a big drop, but that's 16 to 13. If it holds the 50, it has a chance. AVGO held the 50. Give it a chance. AXP, no. These to me have to do like an up, down, up. I need a higher low. Bank of America, still a yes for me. I think Bank of America and Morgan Stanley were my two that I liked. BE is a no. Citi is it's kind of sideways. I'm going to say no. Caterpillar still looks good. Leading the way for industrials. CIEN still looks good. CLS, maybe. Let's keep it there. It's on the list. Look, there's some chop. We know there's been some chop. We're not going to find any stocks that haven't had some chop to them. COHR, yes. Corrido, no. Cisco, wow, absolutely Cisco. Absolutely Cisco looks good. Trade coming our way there. Delta, no. Diamonds, no. Ford. I'd say Ford is still holding up, but I think GM might look better. Fox looks pretty good. And you could have made an argument for a trade in Fox and a continuation trade now. FSLR still looks good. I'll tell you what, our watch list is holding up. GE, no. Did not hold up. Gold, iffy. GM, yes. Google, yes. And an argument could have been made for a trade back on Google. Goldman, yes. I like Goldman. GTX, still all right. Howmet, still looks all right. IBM, yeah. Actually, looks okay there as well. Intel, no. IWM, no. JCI, yes. We've got some strong leaders in industrials. This one's a little iffy, a little choppy. LRCX still looks pretty good. Macy still looks pretty good. Running out of room on my card. Better than I would have thought for a 2.5 market, which is good. Our watch list is holding up. Kudos to our watch list. MasterCard, no. Meta, no. Morgan Stanley, yes. Microsoft, no. Micron, absolutely. Netflix, no. Nvidia, no. NXT, yes. I'll still watch this one. Palantir, no. QQQ, no. The Real, absolutely yes. The Real. Roku, no. Ross Stores. Oh, earnings came out good for Ross. They got great dog toys. My wife likes their my wife likes their home section, decorating, and I always go pick up a couple of cheap dog toys when I go to Ross. So I clearly have contributed to that little jump right there. RTX, I don't know. It's sitting above the 50, but I don't love how it looks. Silver, I think silver looks pretty good still, actually. I'll put silver on my list. Give me your thoughts on our watch list, everybody. What do you think? What do you think of what we're finding? SanDisk, this is a bit of a shark frenzy. I'm gonna put it on, but it's a bit of a shark frenzy. It feels real volatile. Real volatile. Surprisingly strong indeed. Good description. Snow is a no. SoFi is a no. Hopeful. STX. I'll still watch Seagate. That was actually one of my favorites of the new ones from a storage standpoint. Teradyne. I like this one. I think Stephen D likes this one. TJX. Strong post earnings. Let's put it on our list. TJ Maxx and Ross are basically the same thing, right? I mean, I never know which one I'm in. I'll be like, are we, that was fun going to TJ Maxx. She's like, we went to Ross. I'm like, oh, because I buy dog toys from TJ Maxx as well. Tesla, no. TSM, no. Uber, no. Ooh, Uber got hit. UUP, strengthen the dollar. We already measured the VIX. Wayfair, yeah, look at Wayfair. That's a potential continuation trade right there. WBD, still holding up. Little flag pattern. Western Digital, still looks fine. Walmart. Actually, after that earnings, I would trade Walmart on a pullback. They broke out of the consolidation. I've got a trade potentially building over here. That's a yes for me. Let's look at the XLs real fast. I cannot believe I made the entire hour. I told my wife if I don't feel good, I'm going to go for 15 minutes and then tell you to read the email. Feels good to feel normal. Materials are down. Communication services, they're not trending horribly, but they don't look great. Energy's looking stronger than we would actually like it. Financials still struggling a little bit. Industrials still struggling a little bit. Technology, we've got some struggles in here, right? And we see staples starting to make a higher low. That's not great. We do not want to see staples starting to pick up, but it does match. It does match our overall posture. Utilities is down a little bit. Healthcare is still quite strong. I'm actually going to put healthcare on my list. I don't really put healthcare stocks on there. When I say yes or no, do I mean for short-term swings? Yes. That's all I'm looking for, Melody. All of these things that have held their 50, my thought is if we're going to get a bounce, these are the things that are going to lead, but I'm not looking for, I'm looking like if I get 4 days of movement, I'll take profit. Then I'll tighten stops and see if I can't get 2 to 3 more. Does that make sense? I hope it does. Staples has been on the bottom for quite a while, now making a push. I see it too, Stephen D. That's got a bit of a defensiveness to it, doesn't it? So we got to be mindful of that for sure. XLY, no. Consumer discretionary got smashed. A lot of negative talk around the holiday season, but do not be surprised if the indomitable U.S. consumer actually spends more than people are thinking. The consumer tends to prevail, so we'll see what happens with that. Okay. Don't expect the email very soon. I'm gonna go crash, but I will put it out later today. With the recording and with the new watch list. Thank you, Melody. Melody's giving me some validation. I will put it out today for sure. It felt so good to just sit at my desk and feel normal. So, thanks everybody. It's great to see you. Thank you, Glenn. Appreciate it. Thanks, Stephen D. Thanks, El Jago. Didn't see you come in. Glad to have you here. Sandy, Stephen C, Kevin. Great to see you all. I will be back. John says no heavy lifting. Yeah. I'm on a 10-pound limit for at least 3 months. 10-pound limit. Maybe it's 6 weeks. 10 pounds for 6 weeks, and then it opens up a little bit. But yeah, I'm not interested in lifting much of anything, to be fair. It's great to see you guys. I'm gonna get some rest. I'm gonna pop on tomorrow morning, and we'll watch the market open together. So it's great to see everybody. Have a great rest of your Sunday. See you tomorrow. As always, happy trading.